What is going on, you guys? Average Bob here, all pumped up after the Giants' Week 2 victory, 19-16 over the Panthers. And the Giants are officially 2-0 for the first time since 2016. I absolutely love to see that. Another weird, interesting game where, the Giants defense really kept them in this game, really stepped up, made a lot of key plays. And, Wink Martindale is the guy, right? He had an amazing game plan. Even though Christian McCaffrey did go for 102 rushing yards, he wasn't very effective out of the backfield, which I thought was a major key to winning this game. It's going to be interesting to see how the Giants build on this momentum as they move into Week 3 versus the Cowboys, who just had a great win with a backup quarterback over the Bengals. This is going to be a crazy Monday night game coming up, and I can't wait for it. With that, let's dive into Week 2 and touch on everything from the Giants Panthers game. Get started on today's stream. I like to think of it kind of as a podcast format, just to walk through the game and what I thought went well and what didn't, and touch on a couple of things as we head into Week 3. But here to get started, let's just touch on the opening drive. The Giants got gift wrapped another opportunity as the Panthers fumbled the opening kickoff return, right? And the Giants had a really good starting field position here. Would have loved to see them get in the end zone, but, as you can see here, they go 3 and out and didn't really make much happen. But 3 points is 3 points. And then the next series, you got another...
Great job by Darnay Holmes, number 30. Watch him come in. The ball.
Another Robbie Anderson fumble here. And, yeah, similar to the first one, the Panthers, these were clean strips. The Panthers didn't even want to look at it and immediately got Giants ball. The stadium is fully into it. First home game this year, so everyone was super jacked up immediately off the bat with 2 big turnovers. And, again, the Giants are getting the ball here around, the 40 going in. And, again, a little bit of a longer drive, 13 plays for 25 yards, not a very good average there, but they do come away with another 3 points for a field goal there. So Giants take the 6-0 lead. And then, Giants offense doesn't really do much for the rest of the second quarter, and the Panthers get on the board twice with 2 field goals. Moving into the second half, you did see, which was kind of my nightmare, right? Because I wanted to be up, either 14-0 here would have been amazing, but then you could see, the Panthers made it a game at 6-6. So then, of course, what the Panthers do is they score a touchdown, and instead of this being 14-13, they're up 13-6. And then moving on after the DJ Moore touchdown, you did have Daniel Bellinger score a great touchdown from Daniel Jones. For his first career touchdown, let's just open this up. And again, very similar to how the Giants scored in Week 1, kind of just getting a tight end in space off of play action. They motion him around, and there's just no one there, right? Like this guy backer has a decision to make. Am I going to come up and play Daniel Jones and try and bat the pass down or sack him? Or am I going to cover him and let Daniel Jones have all that open space to run? And the backer is kind of in a bad spot. Who's that? Rich James did a good job clearing out his route, right? So you can see here, Daniel Jones knows once Bellinger's in the flat and open, he could see this cornerback is fully turned, not even looking at it. So it's kind of like a bang-bang play. And you can see here, this wide receiver is clearing out over the middle, which brings 21 with him. And Daniel Bellinger gets in and makes a big play. And this is what the Giants need. They need secondary options to make plays outside of just Saquon. So going back to it, the fourth quarter, the Giants kick another field goal to make it 16-13. And then Eddie Pinheiro kicks another field goal to make it 16-16. And then, as you're getting to the end of this game, the Giants defense stepped up massively. And I think a lot of that was due to O'Shane Ximenez. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 sacks. He had 1 sack, but he also had a TFL. Another batted down pass, quarterback hit. Oshane Ximines is doing what we've wanted him to do his entire career, and he's flourishing right now in this Wink Martindale defense. And obviously he's getting a lot more playing time than he normally would if Aziz and Kayvon Thibodeau were full goes. But again, this is amazing to see a guy who's been on the team for a few years. And instead of being like, oh, they've drafted 2 other pass rushers in the previous years, where does that put me on this team? Well, he showed up, and he really was an explosive playmaker for our defense, and love to see that. And then I think also just jumping back, since we're talking about the defense, is Wink Martindale did a very good job of bringing another safety up in the box, and Xavier McKinney, which I said I wanted him to do, or what I was expecting to see in heading into this week. So that was great to see, as did have a major impact on the game. And then Baker Mayfield, pretty uneventful game from him, 14 for 29, 145 yards and 2 sacks. And then McCaffrey, he had some success on the ground for a 6.8 average, over 102 yards and a 49-yard run. It's, NFL, you need big plays to win games. But that's really the key stat right there, is him not having much success in the, out of the backfield in the passing game. Saquon Barkley didn't have the best of games. I mean, I think you saw the Panthers kind of key on this and shut him down. Again, they did go to him a lot, which was great, but obviously a much lower average. No really big explosive plays like in week 1, his longest run being 16 yards. And then next up, touching on the wide receivers, again, this was kind of crazy. I think from a snap count perspective, David Sills had 67 snaps on offense, Sterling Shepard at 64, Richie James at 31. Tony, they announced him as the starter, and the stadium was all pumped about that, but literally did nothing. I think he got blown up on one of those screens pretty badly, but he had 28 snaps. And then you're looking at Darius Slayton with 4 snaps and Kenny Galladay with a whopping 2. So I think you're got to start seeing the end of Kenny Galladay's tenure here with the Giants, unless there's some monster injuries, especially with Wan'Dale Robinson being out. There's no reason why Kenny Galladay is only playing 2 snaps unless they hate him and he sucks. So interesting to see, how this is going to move forward. And I think the big key thing is, as we move into the Cowboys game, is obviously going back to the well with Saquon, maybe even trying to get him a little bit more involved in the passing offense. They did target him 4 times for a 9-yard longest reception. But, I think the thing is there's got to be someone else in this group who can step up and try to make plays. Obviously, they went to the well pretty often with Sterling Shepard in the passing attack, but it's tough because I don't think, Daniel Jones is in his 5th year now, and he just still doesn't have that level of confidence that you need to have as an NFL quarterback. He stares down the first wide receiver, and I think the Giants got lucky that there were not an interception or 2. And then, here's the snap count. And then also from Connor Hughes on Twitter, $21.15 million cap hit for Kenny Galladay. Sills, Shepard, Richie James, Tony, and is 12. And I think the Michael Scott face sums it up there. Kenny Galladay's tenure on the Giants. And Saquon, again, similar to week 1, they didn't get him going in the first half. But this was a key play, as I was kind of talking about the negatives of Daniel Jones, he did have this key play on 3rd and 6 to effectively end the game here. Again, right, so here you have another play-action play, and this is where the Giants have had success. Saquon, where is he even starting over here? He's starting as a fullback with Matt Breida back there. Gets Saquon moving, and then that causes the safety to have to fly up. Daniel Jones almost, falls over his own 2 feet, or maybe he just really has great balance. And then he sticks his foot in the ground and turns right up. You got Evan Neal blocking there, 76, looking to come back across the middle. And Daniel Jones picks up the first down to seal the Giants' victory to 2-0.
A fake to Breida. A roll from Jones. He stumbled. He regained his footing. He runs for first down.
And the Giants moved to 2-0. So there you have it. We're undefeated for the first time since 2016. The atmosphere was electric at the game. All the fans were super into it. So really excited for week 3 and a huge Monday night game versus the Cowboys. I think you'll see here. One last thing was that Leonard Williams did exit this game injured, and we're going to need him to be successful. So hopefully it's not too bad. He said it doesn't seem too bad, so take with that as you will. And I can't wait for week 3 versus Cowboys at home.